good evening or good afternoon, all Flight Data Sim members. Welcome to a, well, first ever members only live stream. I obviously have been helping you, well, I say helping you, you've been helping me prepare for this stream for the last few days. And yeah, we'll see how we get on. I hope to do these sort of group flight streams probably once a month or so amongst the public streams here. We'll see how popular they are. But I know a few of you are in the network as we speak. We've been chatting away obviously this morning. I know Daniel Smith, you've obviously been here. You've been wanting to do this sector for some time, being from the Czech Republic, but I'm glad that there's a few that could at least make this flight as well. I can see in Discord, Daniel Smith, yes, I look like an American Airlines Airbus or 737 or something like that, which isn't that great. But I will be using the YouTube chat there, so during the stream, you know, if you want to communicate, primarily use the chat with YouTube, and I'll be able to see what's going on there. So yes, here we are in VATSIM. I'm hoping we won't have any issues with any spammers in the network today, but looking around here, I mean, I haven't got all the call signs on today, but I'm guessing a few of these aircraft here are actually represented by some of you guys matching the sector here. So yeah, I'm going to do the full setup anyway. You guys are probably pretty much ready to go, but I'll skip most of it out so we can just get going. So battery on, GPU's on, the bus, electric hydraulic pumps are on, landing gear lever is all down, we've got the green lights, that's all checked. We then do the fire tests. We'll work our way on down here. I've literally had no time to do much of the setup really, so we need to do everything here. I've got to get the Avitab charts up and stuff like that. As you well know, I was saying in Discord that just prior to this stream I was having lunch. I've been out literally all morning here as well, so let's do that. A 10 call tested. We then do the cargo fire tests down here. Where is it? There we are. So it's been nearly a month and a half since I last flew the 737 for real. I'm going to forget what I'm doing soon enough. Let's put VHF1 on here. Turn off that, turn off that, turn off the marker ident. Circuit breakers are in, up to the upper overhead panel. That's tested. Stall warning tests. Can we need to wait a little bit longer for that? Iris to nav. That's going to take 9 minutes or so. So yeah, I guess some of you are pretty much ready to go. So I think next stream I'll hopefully get it all set up ready. Have I got Active Sky on? No, I haven't even got Active Sky on yet. So yeah, we can just pretty much go from scratch there instead of having to watch the full setup, because you've seen me all do that a few times, but we'll skip most of it out today. Right, Active Sky is just being booted up now in the background. And jumping back into explain level flight plan. I'm just going to put in here where we're going. So Echo Golf Sierra Sierra to Prague, which is Lima Kilo Papa Romeo, cruising at 37,000 feet. Looks like the weather's just loaded in nicely. 3,000 feet per minute climb rate on average, I'd say, and cruising around 500 knots and 450 here. Alright, I've put the routing in here for Simbrief. It looks like Project Fly's working again now, which is pretty cool. Good, so that's all set up. Right, so up overhead panel's done. Right, there we go. Weather's loaded in now. Looks like there's no ATC, unfortunately, either. So let's get Stansted weather up. QNH is 1036, really high pressure at the moment. Thanks as well for helping me with the scenery yesterday. Getting the Prague scenery set up. I found out that most of my library is out of date. All of this global scenery library stuff, whatever it is. But QNH is 1036. OPT. I need to load. We're going to put 0 wind in here. Temperature of 8 degrees. QNH is 1036. Our takeoff weight today. And if you want to be matching the flight plan as well, get all the Stansted charts up too. Oh, actually, no, I'm going to have to close it. This is the problem with Avitab. You can't. Why is that not working? Oh, yeah, that's why. Close. Now, for some reason, my numpad stopped working, but I think that happens when you have like this selected in the background. So I'm just going to put Stansted up here. Charts. There we are. Home. Avitab. Need the operational flight plan. So, fuel-wise, let's just take standard fuel today. This flight plan. The routing is identical to well-known operators, I think. And we've got the block fuel Williams 6828, so we'll put 7 tons of fuel on board. So let's go here, fuel, configure, Well, we've already got 14 tons on board. We're going to have to defuel the aircraft technically. Oh well. Let's call the fuel truck anyway. Defuel the aeroplane. You see it's going down. That's a very uneconomical to have to do that because the fuel would have to be thrown out in reality. Let's start the flight leg as well. And the zero fuel weight is 58.5 tons. So if you want to update that as well, you've got the same flight plan as me, 58.5 tons. That's just coincidental. I think that was on a flight I planned a while back. Yeah, because I was testing for the next tutorial, which is a bleed off takeoff. Anyway, that's all looking like it's set. So that's good. Right, so QNH is set. MF ray off the OPT. What was the takeoff weight again? It was 58.5, so 65.5. I'm just punching that in the OPT, guys. So the OPT is saying for today, based on the actual weather conditions right now in Stansted, you want full or reduced 24k with assumed temperature of 34 degrees. So if you want to use those settings, that's exactly what I'm going to be punching in here. Right, let's get the routing in anyway.
Guys, the wheel's on board.
Echo Golf Sierra Sierra. Left route Stansted Lima Kilo Papa Romeo broadsword 01. I know you will have your own call signs, so I'm looking forward to hearing some other broadsword call signs on frequency. Runway 22 Klaxon 1 Echo, and here's the routing for us today. Papa 44 to Ratlow. From Ratlow, Mike 197 to Redfer, and direct to Taka. Please let me know how the stream quality is in the chat as well, because I've updated quite a lot of settings here. My bitrate was a lot lower, I think, than it should have been. I've actually increased the bitrate to 5,000. So you should be able to, according to Stuart in Discord, who's been very helpful with all the tips there, you should be able to stream, I hope, in 1080, if not 720, without any drop in quality. But I think I had for a long time my bitrate far too low. Osbit coming up next. And from Osbit, Upper Lima 984 to Sulas. And from Sulas, Upper Zulu 650 Tonsu. And then from Tonsu, Zulu 35 to Lomki. There we go then, direct to Prague. So it's going to be a Lomki arrival of some sorts. The flight plan is based off runway 24. It might be 06 in use. We'll assess that on route. We'll have to change it. And I think it's via what's the initial approach fix to the north? Irasu. There we are. So that's what I'd be punching in if I was doing this exact flight. Execute that. Performance, 0 fuel weights in. Reserves are the sum of these two, so it's going to be 2.6 tons. Alternate on the flight plan is Bruno. So if I've mispronounced that, please let me know. Lima Kilo Tango Bravo, cost index 30, cruising at 37,000 feet. I have no idea why the ZIBO mod has given us such a low trip there. We're still defueling the aircraft. That's why. Look, fuel 11.2, 11.1. You can see that the fuel's coming off still because we've got far too much there. So that, yeah, you can see the trip's actually going up. That's why the trip is so low. But that's because we're defueling the airplane. We'll execute that, but we'll need to come back to that anyway to re-execute it because the fuel's coming off. You have the same issue in the full motion level D simulator. If you change the fuel in the full motion sim, you have to wait for the FMC to update. It's a little bit slow. Top of climb wind then at 370 is going to be 333 at 74. ISA deviation is -5. Temperature 8. 24k. And we set an assumed temperature of 34 degrees. So let's slash there. And that should give us 91.3. We've got 92.3, but once we get the AP up and running, that will drop to around 91.5, so it's close enough for us. Flat 5 V speed is going to be 32, 32.40. Why are they? Oh, again, yeah, the V-speeds are off because we're still waiting for the weight to reduce because the fuel's coming off the aircraft, which is a right pain. We'll carry on with the rest of the checks anyway. We're going to have no fuel in the centre tanks by the time that's finished. That's all done up there. Window heat is on. Trim air's on. Packs. Auto. 37,000 feet. I think it's 1,200 in Prague. The elevation. 1158. Let's put 1,200. Good. Steady. Get the APU cranked up now as well. Right, Clacton 1 Echo. We're going to the runway heading in Stansted, which is 223. 4,000 feet, which comes up here. 223. 223 just for now. Well, imagine we've got a clearance because I don't think there's any tower or anything here in Stansted at the moment. Flight director's on. Auto brake to RTO. Reset this. Legs. And trim we check. Squawks in. All looking good down here. Right, so pretty much setup's all good. MFRA. It's not 1,000. No, it is 1,000 feet above today. Sometimes it can vary, but 1,350 you want there. Cool, so hopefully, if you're doing the group flight, you'll have everything matched up with me, and then we'll go from there. So, all we've got to wait for, unfortunately, is this fuel to fix itself. Get in the right direction there. I need to turn on. I have all my call signs off on Xpilot here, so maybe if I go to Xpilot and turn it on, then I'll be able to actually identify you guys. The reason I turned it off was because of that spammer who had a very tasteful call signs. Right, settings. Oh no, I think it's in X-Plane, these settings. Plugins, Xpilot, settings, show aircraft labels. Let's have a look. So we've got a broadsword here, broadsword 4 Lima Charlie, Air Berlin 4711, which I think was, what's your name in Discord? I keep forgetting your name is so rubbish. It's a Berlin themed Discord name. Berlin flight, wasn't it, or something? You're here, which is really, really cool. We've got broadsword 666, broadsword 007 X-ray, broadsword 23 is ready to go. Broadsword 79. I reckon we'll be pushing back in less than 5 minutes. So yeah, I think we'll get the boat on the road. You can see we're defueling the aircraft still, so that should be done any second. Now we're 7.8 now. Is that going to go any further down? What did we say we wanted? 7 tons and 7.8. Is that... No, it's still trickling down. There we are. So we've just got the last dregs of the centre tank fuel. Just to update the V-speeds again. So if I go here, performance, 58.5, 66.1. That needs to be 65.5. So it's getting there. You can see the trip's gone right up to 356. But again, it's still a little bit lower than I'd expect. N1 was 91.3, that's now showing 91.3, so that's updated correctly. The bleed on. V-speeds are, I'm going to punch them in manually. I don't know why they're so far off. They'll drop off a little bit more, but 132, got 132, 132, and the V2 is no, hold on, VL's 132, and then we've got 140 here. I just want to make sure I've got the correct weight in here, because we should have a 65.5 tons. Yeah, 65.5, so that's all set. We finished defueling the aircraft, I think, because we wanted 7 tons, wasn't it? There we are, yeah, 7 tons. So the aircraft's finished defueling. You can see the fuel tanks buggered off, and we'll get the not project flying, we'll get the better pushback here as well. And we'll push to the line here. There we are.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you're ready.
I forgot you can do it through here. Request pushback. There we are. Perfect.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
The ZIBO V speeds are a little bit off today. I have no idea why. We've got dry speeds here. But yeah, on my OPT, 65.5. 24k 91.3, so that's correct. 65.5. And we're 65.5, so I'm not sure. We'll use these lower V speeds anyway, but obviously they must match them in a knot, otherwise we have to try and find out what the discrepancy is. Right, so chart-wise, let's have a quick look at where we are. Where's the airport chart? Just regular airport chart. There we are. So we're on stand 64.
Okay,
in the
all
corner here.
doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
That is so loud. I think I have to turn that one down. Message coming on X pilots from Broadsword 007 X-ray. Oh, Stansted delivery's online. Thank you very much for the heads up there. We'll get the clearance then, and we'll go from there. I'll let you guys get your clearances as well, and then we'll get on our way in a leisurely order. Thank you very much for the heads up there. I didn't even check if it was online. I would have pushed back and caused a right issue. Stansted ATIS we've got as well, and Stansted delivery 121950. Thanks, first officer. There's actually someone on radio today. Right, let's see if we get our clearance now.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking
That
brake.
can stand by for a second. Let's just try and get the clearance. 125, all looking good. What stand are we on? 64 left. Very good. Stansted delivery. Good evening. It's Broadsword 01, stand 64 left. Departure clearance to Prague, please.
Broadsword 01, Stansted delivery cleared to Prague on the Clacton 1 Echo, departure squawk 5242.
Clear to Prague, Clacton 1 Echo, departure squawk 5242, Broadsword 01.
Broadsword 01, correct report when fully ready.
Fully ready, request push and start, Broadsword 01.
Broadsword 01, hold position, contact the ground 121.725, love your videos, bye bye.
121725, Broadsword 01, thanks a lot, bye. Yeah, cool.
See ya.
121725, well he's probably trying to find the video, but it's, we obviously members only stream, and we've got ground here as well. Squawks in, 5242. And Clacton 1 Echo we know about. So I get the clearance now. Stansted ground, good evening, Broadsword 0 on stand 64 left, request push and start.
Broadsword 01, Stansted, hello. Stand 64, push and start approved.
Push and start approved, Broadsword 01. Right, we've got our pushback clearance. I hope some of you are coming along at the same time, so air conditioning packs off.
Broadsword 23, monitor Unicom 122, decimal 8, have a nice flight, have a new year.
Transponder is out of the
122, decimal 8, Broadsword 23, next for service, 7 AM.
It's good to hear someone online that's got a Broadsword 0 call sign. Thank you very much.
Pushback,
I need to
and you
turn
may
these
start
volumes down
engines.
so you can actually hear Squawk Box. Cool. Will do. So yes, we haven't actually looked at the Clacton 1 Echo SID, but we're pushing back here. It's going to be a short taxi for runway 22. And the SID is here. It's an RNAV SID. So we're going to climb straight ahead. Runway heading to Sierra Sierra Whiskey 01, which you can see is the active waypoint. Then we're going to make a left turn. Stop climb is 4,000 feet, which is here. Max 210 knots for the initial turn as well. And then we're going to go eastbound inbound to Clacton. So we'll put 1455 on standby. There we are. Although it's RNAV, we've got something as a backup
ground,
anyway.
good evening, Broadsword 007 X-ray, ready for push and start, stand 4 to right.
Cool, so there's another broadsword call sign.
sign.
And 2's increasing. Oil pressure and N1.
Broadsword 007 X-ray.
Perfect.
Okay, confirm you wanted push and start.
Oh look, in the rush I forgot to set
again?
V2 up here.
Confirm you want push and start.
140. There we are.
Confirm push and start, Broadsword 007 X-ray. Broadsword 7 X-ray, roger, stand
It's cool to hear in the broadsword call signs. Starting cut out 1 to engine number 2, 24632 stable. Starting engine number 1.
Stansted ground, good afternoon, Broadsword 666, stand 33 centre, request push and start. Bristol 666, Stansted, hello, stand 3
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Parking brake is set. Disconnect to our bypass advisor.
Disconnecting
Clear.
tow. Stand by.
O2, N1 and N2 is looking good. Fuel's coming in. Good. So yeah, obviously a bit of a rush this stream. We didn't do any briefings, didn't do any checks as per usual. So we just wanted to get the show on the road. I think for the next time we do a public stream, I might have the aircraft already set up. But as I said just at the start, we're a bit of a rush getting everyone in here. But I hope some of you are pretty much ready. I see there's a few other broadswords on stand. Someone's taking off as well. Starter cutout, monitor engine number 1, and that is all stable. Right, we'll get on with the flow. That's all we do at this stage usually, but we'll carry on with the rest of the flow in the desktop simulator.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Thank you very much. Flaps, flight control checks coming on. Centre, right, centre and rudders. Full right centre, full left centre. And recall. There we are. The before taxi checklist is all complete. Right, I hope some of you are at least taxiing out at the same time. There's an aircraft here. So you don't get too wrong. Broadsword 23 is up and airborne. Broadsword 007 X-ray pushing back here as well. So we're pretty much ready to go. I'll take a very leisurely taxi routing to the whole point, so you'll be able to hopefully stay up. But I'll probably fly a slightly lower cruise speed. We'll discuss that en route anyway if you want to get into a bit of a closer formation, maybe reduce the separation to 10 miles or so. Right, I don't think I've forgotten anything. I hope not. We're all ready to go, so we'll request taxi. As stands the ground, broadsword 01, request taxi.
Broadsword 01, taxi link Delta, Hotel Sierra, hold Sierra 1.
Taxi, link Delta, Hotel, hold Sierra 1, broadsword 01. So that's a straight line here, second left, and then the right for Sierra 1. Right, so that's all on. Release parking brake, recall, and do the config check. There we are. No takeoff configuration warning horn, and we are on our way. Oh, I've just realised I've not had the chat. I've missed all of this chat here because I had the chat set to top chat. I now set it to live chat so I can actually see what you're typing, which is a real issue. So I can see, sorry, some of you have been chatting away there. Justin Reed, I'll definitely have to join in on the next group flight. Yes, I'm sorry about that. It's a great shame you couldn't make it on board. Chinaski, yeah, let's plan it a few days before. Dang, that's easy. I'm so sorry I missed all of this. Chat, guys. Anthony Teal, Flight Editor uses Xpilot. Yes, we are on here. So yes, you can chat away now, and I'll actually be able to read the chat. But if you have a few more questions, obviously on these sort of streams, there's a lot less of you because it's only got members in it, so I'll be able to get to you a lot quicker with that there. I see you've got a question there, Brendan. Doing the modular route, do you think it's best to do ATPLs after PPL or MEIR? It's all changed now, Brendan. I mean, I did mine integrated, did CPL first, then CPLIR. I don't know the exact order that you want to do it.
Roger 007 X-ray. Roger 7 X-ray, roger, hold position, aircraft, company aircraft pushing ahead. Roger. Stansted ground.
Cool, so we're taking a nice leisurely taxi. Sierra 1's going to be the next right that we can take up here.
Ryanair 2 Delta uniform for now.
Leon, hello, I keep experiencing problems with the engine startup. After turning the start switch, it says allow knocking noise. Any help on how to fix this? Oh, crikey. I have no idea. So long as you've got the APU on, you need to have APU bleed on. Packs off, should be able to get the engine started.
Right with us, Ryanair 2 Delta. Roger, Ryanair 2 Delta uniform, continue hotel, turn right, link Alpha, stand 15.
And here's Sierra 1 for the whole point. So just do the before takeoff checklist. So config, we've checked, flaps 5, green light, stab trim set for takeoff, takeoff briefing, packs auto, bleeds on, the V speeds are set for departure. We've discussed why the different 32, 40 sets. Departure Clacton 1 Echo,
666 taxi,
climbing straight ahead to Sierra
Bravo
Whiskey 01 and make a
Hotel
left turn inbound
Romeo
Clacton.
Hold
Stop
Romeo
climb is
1.
4,000 feet. NADP2.
Taxi link,
That's about it, really.
Bravo Hotel
And
Romeo
imagine the cabin
Bravo.
secure.
Holding up Romeo 1.
Checks and plates.
Brought on top thing.
Anthony Deal, I bet there's a Qantas A380 behind the knocking. Yeah, probably. This is probably advantageous because he cannot see that I'm doing this. And if it goes well, like, you know, I'm going to do some more public streams on VATSIM, but if it is becoming apparent that he's doing it every stream, I'm going to probably stick to doing only members-only streams on VATSIM. We'll see.
Broadsword 007 X-ray, the company aircraft is going to taxi. You can now taxi Link Charlie Hotel Sierra to Sierra 1.
Link Hotel
So you can see there's a
Sierra,
4 Lima
Sierra
Charlie
1.
and a 666 racing to the
Link
whole point.
Charlie, Sierra 1, to runway 22, Broadsword 007 X-ray.
And we'll get to the whole point and then we'll call ready.
Broadsword 01, no further ATC, monitor Unicom 122.8, bye-bye.
Unicom 122.8, Broadsword 0, thanks for service, bye.
See ya.
I mean, I guess that means I'm cleared for takeoff. Okay, so, right, I'll get right to the whole point here and let the other guys catch up. So, that's all good. So, what is Unicom again? Is it 122.8? I think so, or 1218, I can't remember. Right, well, imagine we've got our takeoff clearance, so that's on, strobes are on, order throttle, LNAV, transponder to TARA.
Approaching 2.
Check. So MCP is set, transponders to TARA, strobe lights are on, landing lights on. There we are, checks are complete. 122.8, thanks a lot guys, Unicom's up. There we are, all ready to go. Your own ATC now, I swear, absolutely. Right, we'll get ourselves lined up. Thanks, Anthony. You could be ATC for the entire sector. Right, looking good.
On runway 22.
There we are. So I did the performance from one of the intersections well up here, so we're all good there. Right, pointing in the right direction. There we are. So have a quick look outside. We've got a broadsword there and a broadsword here, all following us there. Excellent. Right, let's start the timer. No idea what the wind is either. Stabilise, set takeoff thrust. There we are, 91.3. Takeoff thrust set, indications normal.
80 knots.
Checked. Release the forward pressure on the control column. Oops. Change the scale on the EFIS. Hand off the thrust lever at V1, rotate 2 to 2.5 degrees per second. Pull for that dead band now, and we're airborne.
Positive rate.
Gear up, positive rate of climb, and onto the flight directors. The EMT,
400.
you're behind you. Excellent. LNAV's engaged.
Stansted traffic, Broadsword 666 is entering runway 22 for departure.
1,000.
That's command A engaged and bugging up. ZIBO's worked very hard now to fine tune this. He has a lot more gentler, a lot less aggressive. It's a little bit more realistic, so it's a lot more aggressive performance. 9 degrees, so engine anti-ice can come on and we can select flap 1 simultaneously. There's the flap 1 bug, we can select flaps up, and out of the cloud we come. Engine anti-ice can come back off.
1,000 to go.
Checked, there's no ATC, so I'll imagine we're being cleared to a higher flight level. Let's just put it in 160 now, and delete the restrictions. So VNAV, and we'll imagine we'll set, we've been cleared to a flight level, so we'll set standard. Passing 35, flight level 160 after takeoff checklist. So there are some speed restrictions for this initial turn. So we'll just leave VNav engaged until we're flying in the right direction, and we can accelerate to 250 knots. And here comes the after takeoff checklist. So air conditioning and pressurization, 2.2. That's climbing nicely. Auto. That's all set. Let's go to auto. Gear up and off. Water brake 2 off. And altimeters standard set, passing 5.5 for flight level 160. After takeoff checklist is complete, and we'll match the heading around there. Lovely. All looking good. Oh yes, release the cabin crew. Glorious. Nicely on the way. Snapshot says cancel takeoff clearance. Don't say that whilst I'm halfway down the runway. I've never had that, thankfully. William Fullerton, your airline is poised to take over the world. Alpaca Airways, 2XL Broadsword. We are the #1 operator out of Stansted now. Leon Fearon, how do you know when to use engine anti-ice and wing anti-ice? I saw someone said, good question. Engine anti-ice, we use the kind of visible moisture criteria to work out when we need it. So if we have the total air temperature below 10 degrees Celsius, which you have here, and you're in visible moisture, so cloud, fog, rain, visibility, we say of less than 1 statute mile, you need the engine anti-ice on. It's simple as that. And you keep it on until the static air temperature, which you find on progress page 2 here, is below, is below -40, because once you get below -40, ice doesn't really adhere to the aircraft there. So that's how engine anti-ice works. In descent, regardless of the static air temperature, if this is the total air temperature is below 10, we always turn engine anti-ice on. Now, wing anti-ice, it's very difficult in a desktop simulator to work out where to use wing anti-ice, because we use the kind of like the wiper bolts here. You can use you have visible icing on the windscreen and wiper bolts, which means if you have icing here, it's likely to have icing on the leading edge part of the wing. Now the wing anti-ice, it only heats the inner parts of the leading edge here, so the outer part of the leading edge here isn't heated. It's only the inboard section, and that's you can't really do it in a desktop sim. Now some payware aircraft and some other aircraft do have icing modelled, so you can actually use it then, but that's how you sort of know when to use it. I have a tutorial on it somewhere, which I'll drag out somewhere. Right, I'll just do the post or pre-cruise check. So fuel 4 pumps, lights coming off, logos off, APUs off, pressurization 5 set, recall, release the belts, and then we'll see what the message was on X-Pilot. There we are, check's complete. It's from Ryanair 2 Delta Uniform, which is Daniel. No, it's from Ben. Hey, are you Flight Deck to Sim YouTube? Yes, I am. There we are.
1,000 to go.
1,000 feet to go. Well, that's going up to 160. There's no ATC, so let's go all the way up to 370. And our cruise speed today, planned cruise Mach number is .77. So if you happen to be behind me, feel free to speed up a bit if you want to catch up. If you're ahead of me, feel free to slow down if you want to have a bit more of a sequencing. That would be cool. Mike 1055, thanks again for the recommendation on Active Sky. Thought I was going mad with the default weather. Yeah, it is. X-Plane's default weather engine isn't that great. Oh, I forgot to turn the weather radar on. Isn't that great, especially with the variable winds. It's always changing direction there. Oh, it's the message from the chap who just sent it to me. We've spoken before. Have a good flight. Love the videos. Cool. Hello, Bebo. Hello, and welcome to the members-only chat here. William Fullerton, I believe it's usually under 10C with visible moisture or clouds. You got it. And Snapshot is confirming. So we have X-Vision on as well. I've got a preset from one of the other members here. I haven't really noted a considerable difference between that and the default. weather, I don't know, but either way, it still looks pretty good there. But yeah, it was recommended, and we will continue to use it. It's good to see that Project Fly's up and running again as well. Icefire, there seems to be a lot of traffic crossing the Atlantic Pond Hop event. I haven't even looked at the VATSIM map here actually. There we are. Oh, why are we still doing 250 knots? Is there a restriction here still? We still have 250 knots at Clapton. Well, it's very unlikely you'd still have that restriction. Oh yeah, I've already told ZIBO, if you press delete on the climb page, you should be able to delete a restriction. It doesn't work in the mod, you have to do it on the legs page only. But that should be fixed in the next version. There we are. Might as well put Clacton VOR active as well. Lovely colours. Some of the presets are awesome, says Tim. Yeah, I'm using one. Who sent me this preset? Tom Knudsen. I've got another one from Richard Ausberg I need to use as well. So I can see Broadsword 666 behind me. And Broadsword 4 Lima Charlie. We've also got ahead of us Broadsword 23. And I think that's all I can see at the moment, so all looking good. ATC wise, later on, there is a centre on the line, and nothing on and around Prague. Liam, you're 666. I'll probably forget that in 10 minutes. And Broadsword 23's Icefire, very, very good. Herman Amex, oops, way too late. Yes, well, if you're not in the Discord, you might have not noticed the chat, and I did just post it in the YouTube community tab for members, the members only YouTube community tab. So I could have done that in regards to getting a bit more notice out there. But unlike some of my other members only live streams, I will probably put this public afterwards. More as to a dig for the Qantas guy than anything, to show that I can use the network, hopefully without him gate crashing it. But yeah, it's a nice way to be able to utilise VATSIM without having any spammers. Snapshot, brace yourself, Prague. The Broadsword invasion has begun. There's a lot of cheap beer in Prague as well. Lovely. So, passing 25,000. We should do this at 20,000, but again, you'd be checking the differential pressure here. Every 10,000 feet, cabin rated climb, this kind of reverse L you've seen me discuss a few times before, starting here and then working your way up here, checking the pressurization panel. And it's a very reliable system, but it is worthwhile testing. Daniel Swift, are we on London Centre or 122.8? I'm on 122.8. There is a centre on below us, but I think he's only doing the lower flight levels, I guess. Well, that doesn't make sense because we're talking to him now, but we were told to contact Unicom just prior to takeoff. Stash flight to the Valkyries will start playing. Very good. Herman Amex. We'll look afterwards, Captain. My mother-in-law is here. Herman, I'm not going to comment, but my parents, my girlfriend's parents are here, and they're here for 3 weeks. And they obviously do require some prioritisation. Steve Ayres, did you have a good Christmas? Yes, I did. Thank you very much. Although I'm looking forward to just getting Christmas done, getting New Year's done, cracking on with next year as well. But it is nice. I'm missing work a little bit now. I'm halfway off the off period now, but yeah, I miss flying, if I'm honest. But it was part of the new contract for the base transfer. Thank you very much, Herman. Yeah, that maybe this does look quite good, to be fair. This is probably the new X-Vision preset doing something or other. So the rest of the routing is taking us eastbound. We're just over Amsterdam and over Germany. Got Luxembourg here. Flight time should be, well, not much more over an hour and 20 minutes from now until we land. Loving the screenshots on Discord by Icefire and Daniel Smith. We've got another message up. Beers are on me. Thanks, Broadsword 007 X-ray. Very good. You get the first round in then. There's 30,000 feet. Let's get the bank angle to 10 degrees. Oh, thanks for taking that screenshot as well down in the Discord of our aircraft all leaving. Broadsword 666, Broadsword 0 and Broadsword 23. That's really cool. Liam, I was busy during the start. What flight level did SimBrief give you? I used a flight plan based off some other information. 37,000 feet all the way up to... again, Lido's optimum here and Max are way off here. There shouldn't be as big a difference as that. I don't know where ZIBO is using this data for. You've got a discrepancy there at 3,000. Usually a little bit closer. At this gross weight, Max is probably more accurate. Optimus should be a bit higher. I'd say around 375, 380 approximately. But we'll go up to 37. I agree. 0002 just disconnected. Cannot hang around PC for the entire duration of flight. Maybe I'll connect later. Safe flight, guys. Thank you very much. Yes, that's it. That was the source material. Alpaca Airlines operational flight plans. Yeah, the colours look fantastic. I noticed with this new preset as well, the stars. You get a lot more stars, which is really cool. So east over the North Sea, the eastern part of the English Channel. I'm going to have a nice little tailwind when we turn eastbound. I missed the ZIBO mod. I love that DC3 stream the other day, but just jumping back into the ZIBO mod. First time I turned on the PC was yesterday since the DC3 stream, just to update the ZIBO mod and make sure everything was working correctly.
40,
I
30,
thought I turned that
20,
off.
10.
I thought I turned all this off. How did you do that? How did you donate? Oh, it's because you donated through Streamlabs, that's why. I turned off all the things. Oh, I didn't expect that. Lickery 0002, £3, thank you. In hope you forgive me for spawning mayhem earlier on the Stansted. That was my fault. I didn't know you were on that stand already. You don't need to apologise for that. Oh my goodness me. I just went on a stand which I thought was free. You happened to be there first. It's not your fault. It's completely my fault. But no spawning mayhem at all. I just simply changed over to the other stand and I went from there. But no, thanks for that. Oh dear. Daniel Smith, you think X-Planes crashed on you? I hope not. I really don't know. I hope not, because you inspired our first destination for the first members only group flight. I hope you can get it sorted. If you can't, just reset it and then I don't know, find an airport perhaps underneath us and then quickly zoom up and fly from there. Try and join us. I'll even put a rip in the chat. I know that's the given thing these days. There we go. I'm sorry, Dan. I hope you get it sorted. And how's the quality on the stream, guys? Are you able to watch it 1080? I've upped the bit rate. It was 3,500 before. It's 5,000. I checked my upload today. Upload has been all over the place, but it seems to be better today. I'm getting kind of like 6.5, 7 megabytes upload, but it seems to be a lot better than I previously had there. Stream's looking good. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, move the camera. I know, so if I do this lots quickly, I know that sometimes causes an issue for the screen to load. Oh, look at that. That must be X-Vision. That does look pretty, actually. Yeah, I've got much thicker contrails as well. Oh, that's really cool. I'm gonna have to do that again. Nice. I think... Excuse the noise, I'm going to have to take a screenshot for this. I think I'll make the video thumbnail. Oh, it's really hard to... Nah, that'll do. No, I don't want any of this text box though. I hope you can hear me. I'm sorry about the noise. Let's take a little screenshot there. There we go. Ah, why has that not worked? There we are. Ah, sorry about that, guys. It's super loud out there. Dan, you're going to meet me in Frankfurt as a Czech Airlines, I guess. Dan, I'm so sorry to hear that. Frankfurt, yeah, I think that would make sense. And then if you try and get yourself at the whole point, and if you can work out when I'm approximately 20 minutes away from Frankfurt, because it'll take you 20 minutes to get up to the cruise level, then you hopefully will join us nearby around there, which would be quite cool. Phone news quality has always been good, except for sometimes we're switching views better than before, though. Yeah, I think when you switch views, obviously there's a bit more data that has to be uploaded. But no, thanks a lot to Steve for helping me out with all that stuff. I hadn't really played with any of those Streamlabs settings for a very long time until I sat down and had a play of it. And I kind of tested it myself on a private stream on my laptop to see if it's working properly. Yeah, this is, I think, X-Vision looking good. That's really, really nice. So you've got this kind of lighter colour, the sunset over here, and you get this kind of like second line over the horizon, and it looks much darker. That looks really, really, really realistic. I might take back what I said about X-Vision, which I didn't think it was doing much for that. I definitely haven't had anything like this before. Yeah, that's nice. So Frankfurt, Dan, is Echo Delta Delta Foxtrot. We're 240 miles away. We're doing 500 knots, so we're going to be there overhead Frankfurt in 30 minutes. If you can get yourself airborne 10 minutes from now, by the time... Well, no, not even that. 20 minutes. Probably 15 minutes from now. If you get yourself airborne in 15 minutes, you should be roughly where we are on the way to the Czech Republic. Snapshot. I was trying to work it out there. You'd be far better than me at that being in the Air Force. I have to get my whiz wheel out, but my mental speed distance time calculations, I like big round chunky numbers these days. Daniel Smith, if you go to Frankfurt's secondary airport, Frankfurt Hahn, that would probably be a little better. The code, I'm not sure about. Dusseldorf, there you go. Yeah, speed distance time calculations, crikey. I remember my little map, my little whiz wheel with me on the lap when I was buzzing around the UK in my 150, quickly working out the calculations. Now I have an FMC and an ND. Good. Nicely sat here. And 37,000. Step on the ball. Why am I not supposed to be with London Centre? I thought that. I was looking on the the VATSIM traffic map, and it said there was a whole area centre there, but no one contacted me to chat to them, or Stansted ground told me to monitor Unicom, so I'm not sure why that's active, or why it isn't active or not. You still have the flight computer on your knee pads. Ah, there you go. It's you know, modern aviation is no real requirement for this, and one of the things I really liked flying was the 200, because the 200 made you have to, you had to think a little bit about on the live stream, about your ETAs, your times, and you can usually divide things into 5 minutes quite easily, or 15 minutes. Phone news: the VATSIM AT map is not intuitive with London control. Ah, okay. Yes, I just saw I was flying in the big yellow bit, so presumed I'd have some sort of air traffic control coverage. But I hope you're enjoying this anyway. I certainly am. It's a lot easier to kind of manage the chats and see what you guys are asking, but it's something I'm looking, like I said earlier. I'll continue doing the kind of occasional members live streams, especially when testing. I think I'll do this group flight thing monthly, perhaps a bit more frequently. My long-term plan is when I go back to work, is with my roster, is to do at least one live stream a week publicly, and in between do the member streams. But we'll have to see how busy I am this summer. Usually quite busy, but no, I don't have to commute. If I'm on standby, and I'll be at home, which is great. What in 60 rule? Oh god, no, that is in a very far back part of my mind. Oh my goodness. Dead Reckoning and all this. Oh. Daniel Smith, you're gonna load in at Frankfurt Hahn, I think that is, as Ryanair 96 X-ray. Okay, very good. Best of luck, and I'm really especially sorry for you that your PC crashed. Because Prague, you've been begging me to go to Prague for ages, and then we do it as the group flight, and your sim crashed. That's an absolute bugger. Step on the ball. What happens when everybody is a subscriber? It becomes a member? No idea. I think that's what you're referring to. The members come and go. Membership. I don't know how many we have now. How many members? It's 150 or something. But a lot of people come back. I've had lots of members who left. I need to turn the volume up on that, or I need to either turn the volume up of that or turn down the volume in X-Plane 11. But I think I have the volume in X-Pilot set to maximum, so I can barely hear that ATC call there. Maximum top aircraft, sure. Maximum distance for full aircraft. Oh, I don't want to press it. I could probably increase this slightly, but I don't want to start doing that. Only comment here: you see these clouds. I think you wouldn't be able to see them as clearly as we can do because there's no sunlight illuminating it. Oh, unless there's a moon. But again, it shouldn't be as bright as that. Yeah, that's right. Look at those colours. Yeah, that's cool. You sometimes get those deep purples. Chasky, Captain, how do you compare the new VATSIM codec to real communications in aircraft? I think it's very, very good. You're never going to quite match that kind of exact quality, but I cannot complain with it. I think you won't get better, and I have no complaints about it. I think it's really, really good. If I turn that up, does that mean it's louder in X-Pilot? I don't think it does. Just turn these down slightly. Yeah, it is similar, Chasky. I can't. It's like with a real VHF radio, you've got the sound right in your ear. Obviously, I haven't got mine set up properly. I know some people have explained they have their headphones connected just to X-Pilot, but I'm playing all the audio through my headphones, so it's not quite as clear to me when I'm listening, but it's certainly good enough. and you guys I think can hear it a lot louder because it's Streamlabs. I have Xpilot as a source, and I've turned the volume up for Xpilot quite a lot, so you get it a lot louder than I can hear it in game. Yeah, the audio output capture for Xpilot's a little louder than I can expect. Yeah, sorry for a bit of a rubbish answer, really, Stansted, but yeah, if I could say is it good, I'd say yes, it is. The Xpilot audio, or the new VATS codec, sorry, is very good. Thanks a lot, Snapshot, for answering that question. Yeah, link, Stansted has a lot of links, as you saw earlier. Link 6, it just joins those taxiways together. So we're bubbling along at decimal 7.7. Top of descent at 47, 13, 23, 33, 43. It's about 35 minutes. Till top of descent, about 50 minutes. Ego77, welcome to the chat. This X-Vision preset looks really nice. Yes, that was from Tom Knudsen. Pretty happy with it. But I was only commenting about half an hour. Now I didn't notice any difference, but certainly flying around now, just a few minutes. Well, about 30 minutes after sunset, you get some really nice colours. Perhaps the tops of these clouds are a little bright. Especially with the sun as low as that now, you wouldn't be able to see that as clearly as we can. But it certainly looks good. Berlin flight finally on my way out of Stansted. Had microphone issues. I was gutted. I did see you there right at the start. Sorry to hear that, man. Hopefully you can at least... Well, you'd have to have some serious speed to catch up, and I'd have to be flying on the stalls on the stick shaker there. Broadsword 666 is not too far behind, though. Broadsword 23 is probably a good few nautical miles ahead of us. And Richard, I can see you behind as well. I'm just looking at the map in Ryanair 888. That's really cool. So yeah, I mean, let me know in the group in the chat there. I mean, I was a bit unlike some of the streams I usually set up. I had no time prior to this. I basically finished having lunch with my partner and her parents 15 minutes before 3 o'clock for the stream. So I literally just had to fire up everything from scratch, start the stream, and go from there. I think with a group flight, obviously we want to fly a little bit closer to each other, so we're a bit there. So I think what I'll do on the next stream is have the aircraft pretty much set up, ready to go, and then as soon as we start the stream, I'll send you the flight plans in Discord so you can get all set up, ready to go as well. So when we log on, essentially, 5 minutes after that, we can just get the clearance and go from there. That way we're not as staggered as this. This is the first one. I'm really happy that there's a good chunk of you that have joined, and I'm enjoying this, and I hope you're enjoying it too. But next time, I'll organise it a bit better. I can have a list perhaps of everyone's call signs. We can decide what stand to go on, and go from there. Daniel Smith, you're in Hahn. It's now a race against time. Where is Frankfurt Hahn? Well, there's Frankfurt Main. I have no idea. EDFH. You should probably... I would condone that behaviour, but slewing is not good. There's Hahn. Yeah, you really got to go. I think you make it. If you go light, make sure you're light, you should be able to climb very quickly. There you are. That'd be cool if you could join up, though. Janaski, at Real Aircraft, can you use your own headset? Depends on the airline policy. Yeah, I mean, in the aircraft we have, they do come with the Telex headsets. They are absolutely... Well, the 737 cockpit is loud. It is very, very loud in comparison, say, to an Airbus. Again, I can't compare the two, but I've spoken to plenty of people who've spoken both. Boeing tried to lower the noise by putting these little vortices here, which disrupts the airflow, slows it down over the windscreen. But I have a Bose headset, a noise cancelling headset, because I found on the longer flights wearing the Telex, the noise drones on, and I was getting headaches. And it's very loud. I'd actually like to know how many decibels it is. I should take a little measure. I should measure it on my phone or something to see how loud it is. But yeah, a noise cancelling headset for the long sectors where you're doing kind of Canaries and back from the UK, it's a must, and pretty much everyone I fly with has a noise cancelling headset, their own noise cancelling headset. Liam, what runway are we landing on? Winds are 350, runway 0624. With winds at that direction at any speed, it should be runway 06. Let's take a look at the weather, and we'll have a look at the flight radar as well, and we'll change it there. Oh, I've only just checked the weather. It's light snow. That's later on, actually. That's the forecast. No, at the moment it's okay. We've got some braking action there. We've got wet puddles, good braking action for all runways. Surface wind is 350 at 9. Ooh. It's slightly favouring 06 by 2 knots. I know 24 is the preferred landing runway. Let's have a look at flight radar. Liam, they're using 06 in real life. In that case, I think for the sake of the wind in that direction, and the fact they're actually landing in that direction, we should plan off runway 06. Yes, I can see an aircraft on final there. A Smart Wings 737 just about to land on runway 06, and an Air France Hop aircraft just taken off at 06. In that case, we'll plan to land on runway 06. So we'll just go in the FMC. Well, firstly, we'll go to the chart. So it's very simple to change a runway in the aircraft. It's better, to find that information out sooner rather than later is really important, because you don't want to be descending and then you find out it's changed. So if you're not sure what we do in reality, it's just we don't have cell call or any ability to talk to the company, although we are getting CPDLC soon. But no, you just simply ask an ATC unit and I can find out for you. So here's Prague. The star is a Lomkey, so you need to find the arrival, for the Lomkey arrival, which is available. The Lomkey arrival, which is used for the runway in use. So it's on my charts at work. It's a Lomkey 7 Tango. So that's the RNAV we're going to fly now. And then the initial approach is actually at Irasu. That's where it terminates, but we're going to do it via Barrocks transition. If it was really busy, they might send you off over there for 07, but I'm going to plan on the Lomkey 7 Tango via Barrocks, and then approach ILS runway 06. We should have a Barrocks transition. There it is, Barrocks straight in there, and you've got the other points there. ATC would put you to the respective waypoint based on traffic, but I think if we do that one straight in, that won't hurt. So we'll go here, departure arrivals, select now the different stars. So it's now going to be the Lomkey 7 Tango, ILS 06, and we set this the Barracks transition, execute. It's as simple as that. Using reserve fuel, that's a bit of a spurious message from the ZIBO mod, which sometimes pops up even though we're not using reserve fuel. And that's as simple as it really gets. Look, straight in, Podib, Teska, starting at Lomkey, which is the arrival, and there you go. Look, straight in. You see, you've got the 4,000 feet altitude. You've got 4,000 feet, another 2 miles level at 4,000 feet. Now we want to do a bit more of a continuous descent, so unless it specifically says on the chart at 4,000, we'll change that to 4,000 feet or above for a continuous descent straight in onto the runway, which will be good to test out VNAV. And I can probably assure you that if an aircraft was coming in from the west, that's the sort of clearance it'd receive. Pretty confident that would be the case. Dougal, welcome to the stream. I got your message the other day as well. Keep me posted on your progress. And he says, "Oh, bar humbug! Can't believe I forgot this stream. Hope you guys had a great Christmas." And I saw he said to him after a lifetime music gigs, I can second that. And you said, "I used to work in a very loud environment due to heavy machinery. Without some type of noise reduction, it can result in permanent hearing degradation. I hope you're not really suffering from that too much." I'm always having issues with this Frankfurt scenery. Yeah, it never worked properly when we streamed there either. Snapshot, can you set up a private frequency for the group flight like we do in real life on sorties? Just curious. I have no idea. I tell you what, if you are... I mean, this is nothing that I know in reality. Someone might have told me about this, but this is quite a unique frequency, perhaps, if you want to talk to someone. 12345. If you tune that, will that be a discrete frequency for us? I mean, I have no idea. If you're on the flight, punch in 12345 and I'll transmit on it and see if you can hear me on the frequency. No idea where I found out about this. I might have read it online in a newspaper. Broad saucer on, radio check 12345. See if anyone is.
555 from Delta 7.
There you go. And so I'll respond on 12345. There you are. I'll go back onto Unicom then. Phone use. You can, but it's frowned upon. Agreed. Anthony Till, I'm an ex-wife, and if you don't have noise reduction, it can also result in permanent hearing degradation. Is that the same thing I read earlier? Oh yeah, you were just responding to Ice, so I thought I was repeating the same one, but I like it. It works, indeed. That was quite cool. So 174 miles till top of descent. Our ETA based on ZIBO is 1708. What does Project Fly say? 1657. Now I don't know how Project Fly's ETA works up here. It's always a lot more different. I think it's just as the crow flies in a straight line, but even so it's quite way off. I don't know how it calculates that or what speed it thinks you're flying at. Never seems to match up. Tor Stable Kulo, welcome. I've never seen you pop up before, but thank you for your membership there. Is the noise worse at high speed at low altitude? Yes, I think you're referring to the flight deck noise. Yes, certainly if you're doing plus 300 knots under descent, as your indicated airspeed increases, it gets a lot louder in the flight deck. Phone news, it's just as the crow flies at your current speed. Dougal McTavish, it is working. Yeah, it wasn't working yesterday when I tried it. I just fired it up prior to the stream to see if it worked, and it is. Or, actually, it's not working. Oh, probably I'm using an older version then, or something that is working. I have no idea. Cool. Well, I'm very pleased to see that the internet is holding up well. I've had no dropped frames since we started streaming. It says, looking at the quality, the upload, yeah, I'm glad I turned the bitrate up because I'm streaming up at the moment 4,600 kilobytes a second. That's what it's saying. I'm currently streaming. The stream quality is good. Because I think when I had the bitrate set to 3,500, it must have just set it to that and it couldn't go any higher. So no wonder the quality was dropping off there. Oh wow, what in the world? What is that vision effect? Is that from... Well, that's a bit unusual. It's like a UFO there or something. That's really... Don't know what's causing that. I mean, there's no moon. Is that following us? It is. Well, might have to change my presets slightly. But there's some sort of ominous glow. Robert Sinclair, is your overlay Project Fly or custom? It's Project Fly's overlay. Lovely. So over Echo Delta Delta Kilo. Cologne, or how do you say Cologne Airport, isn't it? Flown in there a few times. Frankfurt next. And we're making good, steady progress. Snapshot, giant spotlight, perhaps. Dougal, have you ever flown anything with a diesel engine? My brother has a 50% share in a Robin 400 that we get to fly in France. They behave amazingly well, prefer it to the Cessna 172. I've never flown a diesel-powered aircraft. I've flown that diesel-powered Robin in the stream to Courchevel. That's as far as I've got, or close as I've got to flying a diesel-powered aircraft. And if that is in any way accurately modelled, I can see how easy it would be to manage, because it had like a FADEC system. You didn't have to worry about the fuel mixture. You just have a power on, power off. But no, I've not flown any light aircraft recreationally under my own licence for, God, over 10 years now. Approaching 10 years. Richard, hello to you. Was a bit late to the party coming in from Leeds Bradford, but doing my best to catch up with you, treating myself with some shortcuts with no ATC online at the moment. Yeah, .82, and route yourself direct to, I don't know what waypoint we've got here, Osbid or Raspu. That'll get you there quickly. I did see you taking off a while back. You'll need to really get the speed on though. Phone news, getting insufficient fuel on the FMC with expected 5.6 tonnes. That's a bug, something that's been, I've mentioned to ZIBO a few times, and it always seems to bring itself up there. Yeah, I mean, I've got 3.7. No way you have insufficient fuel. And off the top of my head, I can't remember how much fuel you have to have on arrival to get the insufficient fuel message. I'm just double checking it now. But sometimes when you execute something, for example, we got using reserve fuel briefly when we changed the star and runway in the FMC. I'm just having a look in FCOM at the moment for the amount of fuel. It's less than a ton, I think. FMC alerting message. Changing conditions flight plan, which causes the predicted fuel to be less than 900 kilograms. So whenever the fuel here is 0.9, you'll get the insufficient fuel message in the FMC. You don't ever want to be seeing that flash up. Yes, Liam, asking Daniel how you're getting on. He's flat out for sure. Busy. Well, we're about to go over Frankfurt, Main. Dougal, anyone having issues with blowing through the localizer on recent updates, then overcompensating to recapture? Now, the coding for that was changed about 2 or 3 weeks ago, because previously what happened was, let's imagine, alright, let's try and, that's quite hard to demonstrate here. Well, let's use this forelock here. This light will match the course up to our present heading. Let's use this as an example. Let's imagine my mouse key here was the aircraft intercepting in this direction here. What was happening is it was getting the capture, then it would parallel it, turn right, then left, and then right. It shouldn't do that. The aircraft, it works out itself, but it'll match the bank angle, so it rolls out quite nicely onto the localizer. Now, if you have too sharp an intercept, the real aircraft will overshoot. There's nothing you can do about that because of the speed we're going, and it'll just bank up to its maximal kind of permitted amount, which again is automatically set. I think it'll go up to 25-30 degrees. So if we were to overshoot in this direction, the real aircraft would go right and then back left again to compensate that. But with a normal one, it should be able to do a nice smooth turn onto the localizer. The way it behaves in reality anyway, but if you have too sharp of an intercept, it will overshoot and overbank. But not overbank, turn in the opposite direction to get back onto it. The MT, check out that tailwind. That is a good tailwind, 505 knots. What did I just knock there? I think that was the N1 selector, so you can manually set the N1 bugs if the FMC doesn't work. Maybe your intercept was wrong, maybe Dougal, without analysing it's hard to tell, but anything over 45 degrees is a bit sharp of an intercept. Yeah, phone news, that one comes up as well, same way as the insufficient fuel, it just seems to pop up. I just clear the message and then crack on. The insufficient fuel was 900 kilos. The using reserve fuel is when you're less than your fuel here is less than the reserve amount that you put on the performance page here. So if the arrival fuel went to less than 2.6, you get the using reserve fuel message. Snapshot, what did I just knock there? Not a great phrase at the flight deck. No, not at all. Anthony Teal, can anyone tell me why I don't see the traffic on my PFD anymore? I have traffic selected. Last night I had 3 other planes around me, but none of them showed up. I think you might have to have your scale zoomed in a bit. So you see here at 10 miles, there's traffic there, but if you zoom out to a certain amount, I think it's over here. I think that's as per the real aircraft. Up to 160, look, you don't get the traffic, but if you zoom in, you should. That might be one reason. There could be another reason as well. There's traffic crossing ahead of us. Look, 5 miles, 3,000 feet below. There he is. I think I'll turn that back off now. That's cool. You at 5 miles. I'm not sure then, Anthony. I'm not sure. Could be a setting in X-Pilot, perhaps. I might just sort of works on the TCAS. I guess you had a transponder on, or the kind of normal questions, answers. But I mean, this is all set here. That's something aircraft to generate here, but for the TCAS to work, I don't know if there's any settings in ZIBO or not. I have no idea, I'm afraid. Cool. Right, approaching 90 miles to top of descent, so let's start getting things set up for runway 06 into Prague. Still no ATC, unfortunately. Even though I am flying into Germany and then Czechia next. Oh my goodness me, there's like a long yellow line on here. That's really unusual. What's caused that? Unfortunately, isn't there's any ATC at all. Snapshot has been fun, but I have to go enjoy the rest and don't all land at once. Thank you again, Snapshot, for coming in. I hope you get X-Plane 11 soon. I know you watch this for kind of like a bit more of an educational perspective, because you're going on to the Poseidon at some point, but yeah, get yourself a copy of X-Plane. Join us on the next group flight. But have a nice evening, my mate. Right, so... someone chatting away there. So we got this, we got the ILS approach, and we'll get the airport chart as well. Perfect. So I've got the airfield briefing, which obviously you don't have a copy of, but it's from my operator, so I'll discuss some of the things that we would discuss prior to landing into Prague. Talks about the airspace, talks about where the airport is, it talks about some of the threats here, so you can expect high energy approach and shortcuts on the RNAV transition. For us on runway 06, not much an issue, I suppose more for the other runway. It's noise sensitive, it's NADP1 for departure, high risk of runway incursion. The reason for that is, in Prague, usually when you're landing on 24, which you're not doing today, you cannot make a left turn and vacate onto 1230. That's actually technically a runway incursion. You must use the taxiways there. Quite a narrow apron here, so it talks about being very careful not to taxi into other aircraft, which is also always quite important there. Talks about expect standard ICAO speeds, expect radar vectors, and it says for runway 06, you can plan to vacate at Lima if you're light, that's around 1500 meters. Or plan to vacate at Bravo, which is here. That's about 2,400 meters. Now let's do the Bravo intersection. Nice long landing roll out there for Bravo. And again, saying don't use 1230. So someone on Discord was asking me earlier, how do you work out if you need de-icing or not? Again, that comes from our aircraft documentation, because it's based on which service provider you might use at the airport. But this one actually does say, see the general section for de-icing procedures at the airport, so some charts do explain how it works there. In Prague, it looks like they have remote de-icing, it says here. Talks about how my operator has engineering cover and plan for intersection departures, so that's some of the stuff it discusses. Jump into the FMC, let's get the descent forecast page all sorted. There we are. So here's the descent. 250 below 100. Forecast winds we can now punch in. So again, that strong wind from the north during the initial part of a descent. Now, when you put the flight levels in, you shouldn't be able to execute it straight away. You only execute the speeds once they've been inserted. Check in, I'll need to highlight to ZIBO post stream. 200, 021 at 53. 100, 034 at 37. And the expected QNH in Prague is 1039, very high pressure. Crikey. That's executed, and we'll punch in 1039 here on the barrow. There we are. Who's this coming up behind? I'll check the map here, but someone's caught up, which is quite cool. We'll check in a second. So QNH is set. Latest weather conditions, well, I'll bring up here so you guys can see it as well. So I know we've got this sort of ACAR system here. ATIS request, Lima, Kilo Papa Romeo. Send. Let's get the message there. We'll get the rest set up for the ILS whilst we're waiting. So we've got 11115 with a star on there. I'll have to try and read to see why that has a star in a second. So 11115. Oh, sorry about that. That's active, and we'll put on Praha VOR 1126 standby. Final approach track is 061. And 061. Height check at 4 miles, 2470. Minimum CILS is 1402. Quite high elevation here, about 1200 feet, so 1402 for the Cat 1. Is set. Punched heading mark. And the rest is all good. So, highlighting the star first. So we now start the briefing. So we discuss those threats which we mentioned before. The weather, let's just have a look here. So it's showing here in Prague, the wind's 350 at 9, so it is favouring runway 06. 10k, few clouds, 2,200. Broke at 3,500. Temperature then, it's -1. Now if it's below 0, we have to do something called cold temperature corrections. Which we have to do to any charted altitude below the MSA, and we'll have to do to the minima. Now, I don't know, I need to contact Explain. I don't know if this is modelled or not, cold temperature corrections. You know, altimeters suffer from temperature error, so when it gets cold, you can be lower than you actually think you are, so the altimeter overreads. So it's really important that you add a height so you don't get too close to the ground here. Now, I'm not going to work and make the temperature correction changes today because I don't think Explain model it. That is, if you change the temperature in the sim, the altimeter I don't think moves unless someone in chat can confirm that. It'd be quite interesting to know here. Now here's the QNH. Now the rest here is a reported braking action. Now off the top of my head this says runway 24. So the rest is all codes here. Now 95, that's an important one. That just says the braking action is fine. That's reported braking action there. So 95%. What is that about? I have to get my decoder out, but I'm looking at, let me just get the decoder here. 25, 95. So it's wet or puddles apparently, 26 to 25%, good braking action. So that's what it says on the decoder I've got in front of me. So that's fine. Again, if that's model or not, I'm not 100% sure. That's some injection, I've never seen that on an ATIS. Yeah, -1, you'd have to make cold temperature corrections. In this case, make the change to the minimums and anything below the MSA. Now we have to even temperature correct the MSA here, and we have a table to do that. We have what we call a cold temperature correction table. So anything that's below this altitude we'd have to change. So you jump into the FMC here. These charted altitudes, that's okay, that's above the temperature corrected MSA, but you'd have to change this as well, so it might just push yourself over it. But so you wouldn't actually have to change these altitudes so long as they're above the MSA. The only one we need to change here, you can't change the runway one. It would be just the minima. So 1402, you check the cold temperature chart, work out your height above the altimeter source, in this case 200 feet, because it's a standard Cat 1 ILS minima, and then make your temperature correction accordingly. It'll be about 20 feet, so you'd add about 20 feet to this 1422. But yeah, cold temperature corrections, if you look online, that give you everything you need to know. So that's it for the descent part. The arrival then coming in from Lomkey. We'd step through this, starting with Lomkey. Why is that not changing when I press legs? So if you press legs, it should go to page 1. That's a bug. I can go to next, go to page 1, but whenever you press legs, you should be able to go straight to page 1. I think it's probably because I've got the plan page up. Again, that's not how the real aircraft works, but you see how, look on now, if I press legs, it goes to page 1, but if I go to the plan page, it stops that from working. Look, if I press legs, it doesn't go to page 1. It should be able to, and then it would step the center point back to that page. So, coming in from Lomkey, or Lomkey, sorry, there's Lomkey there. It's going to be 5,000 feet, 9.4 miles on 089. So we've got 12, that's the Papa Romeo 77, that's because it's included at this point because we're not doing the 7 Sierra. Then Papa Romeo 707 to Barrocks, which is the initial approach fix. Again, there's no heights, minimum holding altitude is 5,000, we're going to be above that. And in we go there. And then for Barrocks, it's the ILS approach with the initial approach fix starting at Barrocks. So it's a nice straight-in approach there. So from Barrocks down to 4,000 checks there. We'll put our fixed rings in for runway 06. 10, 4, 3 times height, which is 37,004, 8, 12. I'm going to put in 1, 1, 1. And you can see on the fixed page, that's how it looks on the ND. So there's Barrocks, the initial approach fix, Papa Romeo 742, then there's CI06. We've already got the speed to 170 knots, so we're going to try and let VNAV do its thing, monitor the descent, see how it goes on. Down to the platform, which is at 4,000, 8.8 miles, that's FI06. And then it's all the way down. There are the points here associated with the localizer approach. But it would go down to the minimums for runway 06, which is 1402. Again, we would temperature correct that. RVR's non-standard, 750 meters, visibility 1100. They differ. That's interesting. Or higher straight-in minimums, not authorised the airport. That's for the circle. Interesting. Pappy's on the left-hand side, but the rest is there. Now, this frequency did have a star on it, which my company chart doesn't have. No idea what that's referring to. Got a star there as well. Star there. I hope it works. But usually there'll be something mentioning what the star is. I can't see where it is. But anyway, you've got the gist of it. Landing then, runway 06 again. Remember we said we're going to plan to vacate at Bravo. The stopping distance here for runway 06 to Bravo is 2,430 metres. Now I'm going to quickly punch into the OPT. This information. Order break 2 is showing 2300, which I'd set up earlier. So we're going to go flap 30, order break 2 to vacate at Bravo, and we'll use idle reverse, because we're going to call this the last flight of the day. So burning fuel, 400 kilos to burn, 62 tons is the landing weight. Flap 30, order break 2, idle reverse, vacate at Bravo, and then we'll just taxi on to stand from there. And that's pretty good timing, because we're approaching our top of descent point just here. Lovely. Jubbly, any questions as usual, put it in the chat. It's just a simple ILS approach, as would be mirrored to other aircraft flying this sector today. Yeah, Dan, how did you get on? There's someone behind me. I'm going to have a look on the flight radar now. Sorry for my phone going off in the background there. No, that's the real world flight radar. We have a lot of aircraft in Prague. We've got Broadsword 2-3 ahead of us still. We've got myself, Broadsword 666 is caught up nicely. I'm trying to find where Dan is. Oh, there's so much traffic all over the place, and we're also 79 behind as well. Oh yes, you're a Ryanair call sign now, aren't you? And you're coming in from Frankfurt. I can't actually see where you are, Dan. I hope you've caught up anyway. You're near Frankfurt. Ah, you're still a way back, a little bit back there, behind. Not to worry, we'll do a nice steady descent anyway. Cool. So approaching top of descent. Again, I've not really been monitoring the fuel burn in the mod, Parob. Let's see how we've been getting on. No. Where's Barob? Top of descent. Barob, we should have 3.3 tons and burnt 3.5. We've got about 4 tons. That's a lot more fuel than I thought. 3.5. Yeah, 300 kilos. I think the mod isn't burning as much fuel as it should be. Just comparing to how it would compare to operational flight plans previously. Ooh, oh, come on, Sim, don't crash on me. Oh, it's struggling here. Just going to select a lower flight level here. I'm going to set initially 150. Just with how I compared the flight plans previously, it seems to be not burning as much fuel as it did before. It used to be pretty close to these fuel burn figures. We're in a, pretty close there. At Barob, we should have burnt 3.5 tons of fuel. We've just flown Barob and we've used 3.2, 3.5. It's not far off, but I just noticed in testing last month the fuel burn seems to be a little bit more efficient, the ZIBO mod, than I'd expect. Only just. It used to be very, very close to those figures, but it seems to be slightly off at the moment. Right, anyway, there's top of descent down to 150. We'll monitor the airspeed. Again, it tends to be a tad slippy, the mod at the moment, so your airspeed does go a bit above the target speed. But we'll carefully monitor that as we get closer to Frankfurt. Again, when we get closer to Prague, we'll use the Unicom frequency accordingly. It's a shame though if we didn't have any ATC. I think next time perhaps we'll do a VATSIM event. Descent speed is going to be, decimal 77 on transition, 284 knots. Again, the track required. Yeah, we're going a little fast, so just keep an eye on that. Of course, the target indicated airspeed will increase initially as we are maintaining a Mach number, and it will convert at 284 knots to indicated. And there's an aircraft descending right behind us. Excellent. Brawls on 2 streets overtaken me. He's probably really parched in need for his pints in Prague. Yes, ISI, I think, yeah, Danny, ISI's right, he did take off first. There's a couple of aircraft, I think, which got away ahead of us. There we are, there's 30,000. Bank angle to 25 degrees. The aircraft is now maintaining 284 knots. It's not too far off today. It's still accelerating slightly. Should be pretty much being able to hold the speed. It's just going a little bit faster. But it flight, you guys are a little bit behind. Yeah, as I said, next time when we plan this group flight, or perhaps organise it a bit better. I mean, I was jumping on here doing the full setup, but I think next time we'll start the stream, pretty much go from there, have you guys all ready to go at the same time. If you have any questions, leave it in the chat. Then once we're all ready, we'll get the clearance at the same time, pushback at the same time, and go from there. But overall, I think it's been a success for the first one. Oh yeah, I didn't actually look at the poll results. Last time I checked, it was equal Stansted Edinburgh to Prague for the first sector. I just went for Stansted because I think it was the last person that voted it, to go from there. Looking good to speed, just getting a bit high on itself. The target speed should be a little bit closer to what we want. Just 284 knots. Keep an eye on it. We'll let it get to around 310, 315 before we interject. Obviously, as you go faster, you get a little bit more drag, and the aircraft should stop accelerating as it's following this idle path. All fine, Berlin flights. This way I have plenty of time to learn from the stream. Yes, I hope you can mirror to a certain degree of what we are doing. Nice, easy, straight-in approach, but no, the ZIBO's idle path descent's a little bit off. I don't know if something's changed it, but based on our weight today, you know, in the real aircraft it's pretty good. The FMC calculation takes all of the information you give it, so your gross weight, your descent speeds, the predicted QNH, your target speed, and it's able to produce a descent path profile which should give you your target speed pretty accurately there. Occasionally in the real aircraft it can be off because the weights we're working off are estimated weights. So quite surprisingly, you know, when we put this weights information in off the load sheet here, our gross weight is 62.3 tons. In pretty much every case, the aircraft isn't as heavy as that. It's lighter than that because we take for each passenger a presumed weight. We presume every passenger weighs 84 kilos, so every checked-in bag weighs 13 kilos. We presume that. In most cases it's a lot lighter. And because of that, sometimes your target speed in VNAV in descent doesn't quite match your path, your profile there. But it's pretty good. Certainly, I've seen it occasionally in reality be off. Uh-oh. Did you see that? I thought the sim froze there. Occasionally, it can run away like that. Because perhaps the wind's different than forecast, or sometimes VNAV's just being VNAV, we say. It's doing its own thing. It sometimes does throw a wobbly, but you just have to monitor it. It's quite steadily holding now, 308 knots. We had the message, drag required. What is happening to my sim? Doesn't usually do this. What is going on? I hope that's not that X-Vision. I've never had little stutters like that before. Crikey. ICE5, Boeing had a team of professional programmers to make sure it's highly accurate. ZIBO did a pretty good job. Yeah, that's why I have to say, you know, the real aircraft sometimes does this as well. The fact that ZIBO has pretty much using his own knowledge, his own power, researching into it, he's made something like this. It's just incredible. Like, incredible that he's reproduced it. And it is so close to the real thing. It's uncanny, really. So yeah, I don't complain at all. And I think when people do, I sometimes look at the forum and people complain about these little things, and I go, "Oh, cool, blimey!" You know, you don't realise what you're getting with this product. It is so good. Yes, it is not perfect, but neither is it's not a single payware aircraft out there which mirrors precisely the aircraft. They are very, very close, and they can be used as viable training aids in your own leisure. But certainly with the ZIBO, what you're getting for nothing is unparalleled. There's nothing that's free that can match its quality. Daniel, I haven't. No, sorry. I mean, I get lots of little files like that, but no, sorry. I will install that there. I mean, I did put a new ZIBO mod update in, a private one, which I don't know if it overwrites it, but I have got that file downloaded. There we are, approaching flight level 150. We'll pop the seatbelt sign on, and we'll get ourselves down to flight level, let's say, 80. There we go. That is just random, guys. Just picked out the sky. Transition altitude here is 5,000 feet. I just noticed on Discord, you know, I set up that silly little bot thing which started rewarding people because of the amount of messages it sent. It didn't even notify you that I was going live. So the whole idea of me installing that was for it to automatically say I'm going live now, but it didn't. Out of curiosity, to anyone that's in the chat here, any of the members, did you get a notification on YouTube to say that I was streaming? Because I had to send this link to Discord because this link it's I have to make the stream unlisted and then post the link to Discord or to the community tab, the members community tab, for you to get the link. If it's public, it plays on the kind of like, you have each YouTube channel has you have your own public kind of channel, and you get the notification there. But no, you did get a YouTube notification. Okay, perfect. And obviously we didn't get a public notification, which is good because it's only 29 here. I'd expect a few more if it was a public one. You got a notification on the phone. Oh, that's cool. I think you have to click the bell icon if you subscribe, and if you get a bell, it will tell you that I'm streaming there. Oh, Justin, you even got an email to say I was streaming. How formal. Right, so as I was saying, the mod is so close, only about 20 knots off its target speed, and again we've got a stonking headwind. The wind I've got in here at 10,000, 034 at 37, it's going to be close to that. I've had it in the real aircraft where it's done this, you know, so to criticise the idle path descent being off like that, it's incorrect. You can't criticise that. It is so close to, and sometimes the real aircraft very occasionally doesn't quite match the target speed, so we've not touched anything since top of descent except lower the flight level. That's all I've done. All I've done since then is set this to 80, step down to 80, not touch anything else, and it's doing it. It's great. PD UK, welcome to the members only public flight group flight stream. Hope you had a great Christmas. I did. I hope you did too. Right, anyway, we just passed the decel point, so we should be pitching now for 250 knots, which the aircraft is. It's behaving admirably. And I'll probably call Unicom at some point to say that we're on final. So the first decel's for the 250 below 100, the next decel's going to start slowing us down for the approach. And obviously with the elevation here, you know, at 1200 feet, we'll probably at 10 miles be at around 4.5, 5,000 feet as opposed to 3,000. So when you're at a high elevation airfield like this, it's always a threat because you're used to being at a certain height at a certain position with respect to being on final. So we always say roughly to be at 3,000 feet at 10 miles. Well, you've got to add that today because the elevation here, look, is 1,200 feet. So it's something that can catch you out. And we'll bring up the start. There we are. And we're making the left turn. And we're technically on the localizer. Another thing X-Plane needs to do is to increase the range that you can identify the airport from. So we're 28 miles away. You should easily be able to pick up the ident now for the localizer and the ILS, so not sure why it is so late in X-Plane coming up there. So just past 10,000, we should be doing 250. We're a tad high on speed here, so I'm just going to use speed brake to bring the speed back to our target speed. Otherwise, we're pretty much bang on here. We're going to descend to 4,000 feet, which is the platform altitude for the approach. And we'll set the local QNH, which was, just get an update here on aero weather. Latest QNH is 1039, so that is still the same. So QNH 1039 is set. Now that is really ballooned the profile here, so the mod doesn't seem to be, the FMC doesn't seem to be taking into the QNH into account. So the idea is you put the QNH of 1039 here, VNAV will take that into its calculation, but it hasn't. It's jumped as high on profiles, which means it wasn't calculated correctly. So I'm just going to go level change because VNAV is going to die for this profile, and we're going to bug 250. And then once we're back on the profile, we'll re-engage VNAV. So QNH of 1039 is set, passing 8,000 for 4,000 feet. Standby altimeter is set. Back on the VNAV profile now, so we can reselect VNAV. And we're approaching the decel point for the upspeed here, so all looking good. And Prague traffic, broadsword 01 as approaching 10 mile final runway 06 Prague. I think that's the Unicom way. Drag required, that's fine. There's the runway in sight. We still don't have the ident for the localizer ILS here, which is unusual. There it comes in. What have I forgotten? Why is the localizer way off there? There we are. So yeah, 21 miles I think that came in, 20.5 miles. You should get the ident a lot sooner. But otherwise, ZIBO, cracking job again. The VNAV path is very well built. It's going to put us nicely on the ILS, slowing down. And there is the runway ahead of us. Approaching 17 miles, alarm Vorlock initially. Localizer capture, runway heading 061. There's usually a bit of a delay, it doesn't capture so quickly if you're already on it, probably a couple of seconds until it bites onto it. Really nice, ZIBO, really, really nice. So I'm going to select flap 1 now, open the speed window. VNAV path has engaged. Interesting. I wonder if it has. I really want to know if it has cold temperature corrections modelled. I need to write an email to explain. See if there's a few features missing. Cool. So there's flap 1. Approach checklists are done. Frequencies are in. Fixed rings are in. We've got the idents. Approach is armed. 061. Checks complete. We can now select flap 5. Further bring that speed back. And VNAV's put us lovely jubbly on the glide slope there. So alarm approach. Glide slope capture. Missed approach altitude is 4,000 feet, which is here. Climb on runway heading. Radar vectoring 4,000 feet. 4,000 feet set. Lovely. This approach nailed. ZIBO's nailed it. This version of the ZIBO mod, sorry, what are we on? 3:38:26. It's off. Nightbot's disabled for this stream as well. Otherwise, you keep getting messages asking, would you like to join as a member? It is ZIBO, yes, 0.26. We're on 3:38:26. Good, the aircraft behind, nicely spaced out, 2,500 feet above us. PD UK, did you see that Q8 pilot is retiring from YouTube? Now, I did get a message from someone saying, did you see that? And I had a look today, yeah, I saw he was quitting out. Now, Q8 pilot, I've never really spoken to him, but he did donate once, $50 in a live stream, which is really, really generous of him. And I'd obviously heard of his channel, because he has some quite, well, some really very good videos on how to set certain things up. I think I'd looked at some of them before. Yeah, and I saw that he was giving it all up, which I don't know why. He's really one of the most well-known content creators for flight sim, and his videos are great. So yeah, I mean, I think he said it was taking a lot of his time. Spoke about the community being toxic and stuff. I mean, I get the odd little message come in of some immature individual, but never really books me. And I mean, I don't. It's not my full-time gig, this, you know, so I don't know. But yeah, it's a great shame, and I hope he does return. Right. Anyway, we're looking good. We'll hold this speed until about 4 miles. Liam T, you're slowing down to keep separation. Fantastic. Looks like we've got nice spacing here. I'll do 160 knots till 4. 160 knots or greater. I'll configure at 4 miles as I usually do, and then we'll go there. But it looks like you've nailed it. And I'll be landing quite long, Liam, so I'm going to be going for the second exit here at Delta, so I might disengage the brakes if the auto brake can be a bit aggressive in the mod occasionally, and we'll let it roll there. So long as I've vacated your landing. We're looking good, nice and stable, speed's good, no turbulence, slight crosswind from the left as forecast. It's nice and cold down there, -1. Again, we would have had cold temperature corrections on these heights accordingly, but...
traffic, right. Buzz on 266 is 9 miles final for 110.
Fantastic. So they have to be updated, all your minimum accordingly, otherwise you do. Richard, yes, there was a 338.27. I didn't test it prior to the stream, so I didn't use it. And 26, I'd actually had a quick flight of yesterday. Did a quick circuit in Prague to make sure the scenery worked, which it wasn't, but that was because my scenery library was out of date. Right. So approaching 4 miles here, make sure my rudder pedals are in a good position, and we'll start configuring. So gear down, flap 15, match speed, landing checklist to flaps, start switches are in continuous, recall checked, speed brake arm, green light, landing gear, down, 3 green, auto brake set to 2, holding on the landing flap, flap 30, less than a 10 knot headwind today, so we'll just use VRF plus 5. Flaps 30 green light, lights are on. I didn't do the post-cruise checks, look. Lights, logos on. Maybe on pressurization set. Oh, seatbelts on, ladies and gentlemen. I did do that. Cabin secure. There we go, checks complete. Right. I don't know why it looks like we've positioned slightly right of centre line, but I think that's the crosswind, but I should expect it to be a little bit more to the left. Otherwise we're good. Right, disconnecting now. Autopilot, auto throttle off.
Approaching 06.
Checks. TRS2 white, looking good. Let's top down the bar, so 500 continue from pilot monitoring as we're fully stable. The speed's good, nice and steady. All looking good. 3 whites, just a slight pitch down, but nothing too much, that's fine. Ooh, oh, rest in peace. There we go. Continue, 4 whites, I ballooned a bit, like sim stuttering away here. Oh, it's slowed right. Oh, God, what's happened to my PC? What? Something's happened here. Ah. Well, it's going very, very slowly. Oh, my goodness me. Right. Oh dear, that's a shame. Speed brakes up, reverses, idle reverse, and I don't think my my computer likes the Prague airport. I can't believe that. All right, manual braking, 100 knots.
80 knots.
Minus 130. That's a shame. And here's the high speed. Keep it rolling, keep it rolling. There's 60 knots. Now I'm braking manually. Stoda reverses. There's a Gate Gourmet truck just crossed the runway in front of me. Interesting. Flaps up. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Prague. Apart from the fact that my sim nearly melted at 50 feet. That was a great shame. I've had that happen before on another stream. I can't believe that. Broadsword 01 vacated runway 06. Oh well. Right, speed brakes up. Flaps can come up now. And we'll just taxi onto stand straight ahead. Oh, I can't see which lights are off and on there. There we are. Weather radar can come off. Trim. Reset to 4 units. We're going to go park next to broadsword 23. I can only guess what's with us today. I keep forgetting who was who. I'll get the AP up and running now. So even though it's -1, there doesn't need to be any visible moisture, so we can turn the probes off. No freezing conditions exist technically. That's all looking good there. And we'll go for stand 11 here on the right. Oh, I can't believe that. I'm so gutted that the sim work. I've only had that before when Ortho's been loading or something, but maybe it was the Prague scenery or something, I don't know. Literally right at about 50 feet, it just slowed, I don't know, 4 times as slow as it should have been. Still managed to butter it in just about. There we are. No guidance here, unfortunately. I'll just bring it onto stand here. There we go, that should do quite nicely. There we are. Right. Parking brake is set. APU, look at that for timing. 2 blues, 1 red. Engines are dead, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Prague. And that concludes our first ever members only group flight. Being a bit disjointed, we're all in slightly different places, but I think overall a success. Right up to the point my computer decided to melt at 50 feet, but either way, we are here, we're on one piece, and we'll go find ourselves a local bar and get the beers flowing. Right, that's all set, MCP's tidied up as well. Cracking! There we are, let's have a look outside. And we have a broadside 23 American Airlines. We made it. Imagine the bridge is connected. And I think there was another one just landing, wasn't there? Trying to see where we vacated now. Maybe he's already vacated the runway. But yes, it was a very enjoyable flight. Thank you very much for those of you who could attend it. And I will log off the network now just so we can do the replay there. So we can enjoy that there. But no, thank you very much for those of you that could keep up and enjoy the flight there. So X-Pilot, and we'll disconnect. I need to do it this way. Disconnect and Project Fly, complete flight. There we are. Lovely, and of course it would not be a Flight Deck to Sim live stream without enjoying the replay, so we'll get that fired up and cue the ending music. There we are. So, yes, I hope my sim doesn't stutter now. I just want to look at, will it stutter on the replay? Looks okay for now, doesn't it? I just wanted to see on the replay if it stuttered. Let's have a look from this view anyway. Liam T, you did a go around? Oh, sorry to hear that. Trying to vacate as quick as I could. I think you would have just been alright. At least on the replay it's not stuttering. Yeah, it was a nice landing at least. Oh, that was a beautiful landing. Oh, cool. I can't believe the sim gave up the ghost on me though. Right, let's have a look from here. Nice, nice, nice. There we are. We landed nice and smoothly. Oh, I forgot to turn the anti-collision light off. Well, not to worry. I'll try to remember on the next live stream to shut that off. Right, anyway, we'll do the replay view for the landing and then taxi on the stand as per usual to sign us off. Guys, thank you very much for attending this first ever group flight members only live stream. I will post this publicly just to show that you can join as a member. That's just something that I like to do, if you don't so mind. Otherwise, I think it's something we'll do a little bit more often because it certainly keeps the spammers at bay, and next time I'll perhaps organise it a little bit better to ensure that we all leave at the same time. But it was the first time doing it. I'm glad we did Prague as well for Dad, because I know he's been wanting me to fly into this airport for quite a while. When we're going to next live stream, not too sure. I'll try and squeeze one in before New Year. We shall see. We'll obviously chat about that in Discord accordingly to work out what route we do. Thank you very much, guys. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you all soon for the next live stream. Bye bye for now.